A few years ago, I made the move to Salem, Oregon, and it completely changed my lifestyle, my pace, and even how I think about community. When I first started thinking about moving to Salem, Oregon, I had a list of expectations and honestly, some real concerns. And so if you are thinking about making the move to Salem, Oregon, this video can really help you picture what your lifestyle could really be here beyond the neighborhood guides and the real estate stats. In this video, I want to share with you what my life looked like before I moved here, what pushed me to make the change, and what my life looks like now, the good, the challenges, and everything in between. And as a quick teaser, spoiler, my mornings look totally different now, and so do my stress levels. Before I made the move to Salem, Oregon, I lived in Los Angeles, California. Everyone thinks LA, wow, you had it all, it's the best place to live ever. And for many years, most of my life, I would have agreed with you up until about 5 years ago when things started feeling different, started raising a young family, and everything that I loved about the Los Angeles area or big city life just wasn't in my lifestyle anymore. I wasn't taking advantages of all the cool things that the city had to offer. And also what did not fit in my lifestyle anymore was the congestion, the traffic, the pace of life, the grind, housing expenses, and so much more. As the years went by and my lifestyle changed, I was feeling more and more disconnected to the city that I was born and raised in. I wasn't really feeling a sense of community, and my family was growing, and although we owned a house there, we needed more space, and I just didn't want to go through the grind and the hustle and keep up with the pace of life and the added stress that it was going to add to my life to buy that bigger house. The more I thought about it, the more I realized I wanted something quieter, a slower pace of life. I wanted to feel a sense of belonging. I wanted to feel like I was a part of a community. And that's when I started looking into Salem, Oregon. So why did I choose Salem, Oregon? This was not a random choice. We knew we wanted to stay on the West Coast. We did some research, but there just wasn't a whole lot on YouTube. The good thing was that my brother had lived in Salem for a couple of years, and we've come out to visit him. And we really liked the vibe, the pace, and the lifestyle and community that we felt every single time we came out here. We absolutely loved being surrounded by nature, and we loved the location. It was prime location because we can get our quick fix of Portland if we wanted that big city life, an hour away from the coast, an hour and a half away from the Cascade Mountains, and we were really close to airports for any time we wanted to travel. And after a few visits here, I realized this was a city where I can plant my new roots, breathe a little bit, and just feel part of a community. That's something my family and I were definitely yearning for. We wanted that for us. We wanted that for our kids. And we just wanted a sense of space. And we knew that Salem was going to give us that balance that we needed, that we were not going to find in any other large city. And it was also big enough to where we knew we were going to have all the amenities right at our fingertips. And yet we can find a neighborhood that felt away from it all to, again, have that sense of fresh air, breadth, and space. And if you're someone thinking about buying a home, this is where I started realizing how much further my money could go. So much more house for my money here compared to where I was living, better neighborhoods, and a bigger house. When I was going through this move, I had so many questions about neighborhoods, schools, communities, what my day-to-day life was going to be, my overall lifestyle. And honestly, I can remember feeling like there was no single place to get real information about the lifestyle of Salem, Oregon. So if that's the stage you're in, don't worry, don't stress. I can honestly resonate with what you are going through, and that's why I do these videos. As a reminder, I'm Dave Fine with the Real Estate Dads at eXp Realty. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content and information about the real lifestyle of Salem. Hit the like button to get this video out to more people like yourselves thinking about moving here. And comment below. I'd like to hear your concerns about moving to Salem. But most of all, if you're thinking about buying a home, hit me up at the contact information that is popping up on your screen now or in the description below. Now, the move for me wasn't easy. I had all the same questions that you probably have. And even though I'm in this industry, I help people for a living relocate and buy homes, I still have a lot of questions myself. Where do I start looking for homes? What neighborhoods do I look in? What's my lifestyle going to be like depending on the neighborhood that I choose? And I had a flood of these questions. And of course, all of these questions were inevitably answered once I made the move here. The thing is, I didn't have the answers before I moved here. Yes, I visited, and yes, I had talked to my brother a number of times about his thoughts and what he felt his lifestyle was like and had it changed from where he was living before. But the reality is there still wasn't a whole lot of information to go on. And again, that's why I'm doing these videos, to help you get a better insight. And I came across a lot of surprises. There were some areas that I thought I was going to be looking to move to at first, and decided that the neighborhoods weren't going to meet the lifestyle that I was looking for. I was surprised by a lot of the different transitions that my life has taken since moving here just over 3 years ago. Now that I've been here for a few years, here's what my life looks like now. I am so much more stress-free. I cannot tell you or stress upon that point, pun intended, how much better I feel, how much better my wife feels. And I can just feel it has helped us just in our parenting with our kids. Our kids are young, so they probably don't really notice or miss or appreciate the difference of what the different lifestyles were like in the bigger city that we were living in. But I can tell you that because we are less stressed, it really makes our parenting and our family life so much better. I feel like I can actually breathe, get a breath of fresh air. I feel like the pace of life is exactly what I've been looking for, and realized I probably should have made the move years prior, but I was a little too nervous about uprooting my entire life, my business, leaving everything that I had known to love about my big city life. I love that my morning routines are quieter. I love that there's no congestion. I love that I can drive more freely and not feel like I've got to plan out and map my entire day based on the traffic patterns here. I believe I've made more real connections here, more connected to the community and the lifestyle. I participate in way more community events here in Salem than I ever did living in Los Angeles, even though there was way more events in Los Angeles. There's something about the feeling living here that really encourages being a part of something here. And that's something that I'm really trying to get across in this video. So if you're thinking about making the move here and you really want that sense of community, I believe you will find it here in Salem, Oregon. I feel more grounded here. I don't feel like I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses. I feel like I'm not competing with everybody to just make it huge, make it big. Now, don't get me wrong. I've got aspirations to continue to grow my business, my life, and my family. But the difference is that the pressure is different. You don't have that constant buzz. People actually stop and take the time to say hi and talk with you. And that goes to where I get to see very familiar faces when I'm getting a cup of coffee or walking downtown or going to one of the many community events that I go to. It's just nice to see the same faces and see the same friendly faces. I actually feel like I have more time to live. And that kind of goes towards a little bit of a cost of living aspect here. As I mentioned, owned a home in Los Angeles, could have raised my 2 kids there, but we wanted something larger. But at the same time, I knew if I wanted a larger home with a little bit of land, a little bit of a larger property, I would have had to have worked way more hours than I would want to. And I would miss out on my family time, family events, and just being with my family. And this way, the move to Salem, I was able to get the bigger house, bigger piece of property, and not put in the amount of effort to achieve that financial goal in order to buy that much bigger house in a big city relative to what I found here in Salem. And so for all the reasons that I wanted to move to a smaller city and wanted to move to Salem, everything came to fruition, everything came true. And what surprised me the most was just how strong the community lifestyle is here. Now, there are a lot of things that I've learned here since moving to Salem, Oregon. And if I had to tell myself one thing before making the move here, I mentioned it before, I would have said I should have done it sooner. So if you are on the fence of making the move to Salem, Oregon, buying a home out here, I would just say go for it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Now, I will say one of the biggest adjustments I had to make was adjusting to the slower pace of life. Even though I wanted it, I wasn't used to it. So that took me a minute. I wasn't used to it, and I kind of resisted it at first. I was kind of coming up with reasons of why this wasn't going to work. It was weird. I was almost sabotaging my own move and not just letting it sink in and going with the flow and going with the vibe. Once I did that, once I let go of that big city mentality, everything just started falling into place, and I started relaxing, I started breathing, and I started feeling so much more stress-free than ever before. So if I had any tips for you that are thinking about moving here, one, I'd say watch my videos. No, but seriously, do your research. There wasn't a lot out there before I made the move. Thankfully, I was able to travel out here a few times. I did have family. My brother had moved out here, so he gave me a sense. But he and I live very different lifestyles, have different needs and wants of and what we want out of life. And so you couldn't just base it off of that. And again, that's why I make these videos. I highly encourage you to watch more. Also, when you come out here, tour different neighborhoods. I can help guide you with that as well. Go to downtown, stroll a bit, go to different coffee shops, experience all the nature that we have around us. Because if you are looking to make the move to get out of that big city and feel that slower pace, really just embrace everything that Salem has to offer you when you come visit. I know a lot of people who watch my videos are coming from big cities, so they think first and foremost affordability, but there's so much more than that. It's really a lifestyle here, a pace of life. It's really about choosing calm over chaos and again, allowing that to happen. Oh, I should say, one of the biggest adjustments, I should have mentioned this sooner, is the weather. I've done a lot of videos on this. That was a big adjustment. My first winter here, I wasn't used to it, especially coming from a place that had massive amounts of sun throughout the year. The amount of gray skies and the Oregon rain that we have here, which is kind of this constant steady drizzle. Nothing major, no big massive storms that roll by, no tornadoes, no hurricanes, no blizzards, no stifling humidity. So in general, mild, but be prepared for a lot of gray skies. That did take quite a bit of an adjustment. And just know that nothing's perfect. There's going to be some adjustments. We don't have all of the big city or the amount of amenities that you would find in a big city, especially when it comes to entertainment, large venues, places that stay open late. We just don't have that, so that could be an adjustment for you. We were past that as far as our lifestyle goes. We took full advantage of that when we were a little bit younger, but we don't need that now. So, but if that's something that's important, that could be an adjustment, or maybe the city just isn't right for you. But with all that said, the trade-off was well worth it for me and my family. If you're in that stage where you're thinking about making a change, moving to Salem, buying a home, I've been in your shoes. I completely understand where you're coming from. Make sure you check out my videos on this channel. Subscribe to the channel so you can do that. Hit the like button to get more of these videos out to people like yourselves thinking about making that move. Comment below. Would like to hear what you think your lifestyle would be like when making the move to Salem. Most importantly, as a reminder, I'm Dave Fine with the Real Estate Dads, local real estate agent here with EXP, and I love helping people move and relocate to the Salem, helping buy homes. Hit me up at the contact information popping up or in the description below, and I would be happy to help you with your move to Salem.